Welcome back to Vegas, everybody. I'm Matt Peralt from SB Nation Radio. Let's make some picks this week. But first, you got to go to playpicks.com/bonus. It's playpicks.com/bonus. All the great New Jersey sportsbook information and those no deposit bonuses, got to get them on playpicks.com/bonus. Let's start with the Big Daddy in New York City. Notre Dame and the Shamrock Series are headed to Syracuse. Well, not really. They're headed to New York. Syracuse, that state. This is a home game for the Irish, by the way, but it's that Shamrock Series where they go and play where all their alumni happen to be living. They've done Boston, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and now here they're back in New York for the second time for this very fun annual tradition for the Irish. Now, Syracuse. Everyone's wondering about Syracuse and can they keep this game close? I'm going to tell you why they can. And I love their quarterback in Eric Dungy, but I think this is a huge opportunity for the Irish and for the Orange to score a ton of points. So I'm actually with two plays in this game. So the Syracuse Orange are a team that will ride some of their home crowd because I think it's a 50-50 split, but they've quietly put together an incredibly explosive offense. They're the seventh most scoring team per game in the country right now. That is unbelievable. You don't think Syracuse would be that high, but over 40 points a game. Now, defensively, they've got some issues, and that's why I think with Ian Book coming back after the injury, the Irish also will be scoring. But this is an up and down game. Look, I don't like the fact this game's being played in a baseball stadium. It causes for some awkward sight lines for the fans and not really the best of setups for a football game. But hey, they host a Pinstripe Bowl there every year, which I can't stand. Why are you playing bowl games in the cold? But that's a different topic for a different day. I just think this is a game where neither defense will have much success stopping either quarterback. Dungy and Book are going to have big games. The offenses go up and down the field. I think the Irish will win this game, but I think it's a 38-31 type of final. I'll take the over here, and I'll take Syracuse plus the 11 to keep this game within a touchdown. And there'll be plays. Look, against Clemson, Syracuse had a chance to win that game. That was a 24-point line. They covered that spread easily. They nearly beat Clemson. Now, I get it. There were some injuries in that game, and we saw what happened when a backup quarterback had to come in. Things happened in that game that changed it dramatically. I don't think Book gets hurt, but even if he did, Wimbush coming in can play really, really well. I mean, last week, he played very well against Florida State. Last year, he played very well as well. But interesting numbers for the Irish when it comes to against the spread. So Notre Dame is 5-5 against the spread this year. When you dive deeper, the Irish have only covered once in the last 5 games. And in all 5 of those contests, the Irish were at least a 10-point favorite. Now they're a double-digit dog here. I mean, the only time they've covered the only time they've covered a double-digit line was last week against a pathetic Florida State team with Wimbush as the quarterback. I think this is a tight game. Syracuse plus the 11 and the over. I like 2 plays on that game coming up on Saturday. Moving on to the Big 12, to a game that I absolutely love. Iowa State on the road at Texas. And here we go again with Tom Herman laying points. 3.5, the line for Texas at home. So Tom Herman this year against the spread is 2-5 as a favorite. As a favorite, they have lost outright to Maryland and Oklahoma State. We told you we had that Oklahoma State outright victory here on playpicks.com. Here is Texas at home in a really big game trying to get into the Big 12 championship game. But Matt Campbell was Tom Herman, or is Tom Herman. Tom Herman was Matt Campbell. So Tom Herman was an outstanding offensive-minded. He was the OC, not the head coach, but he was an amazing coach who did some very special things. Tom Herman went to become the OC at Ohio State, head coach of Houston, and now the head coach of Texas in Austin. Matt Campbell, right now, the coach of the Cyclones, is at the top or near the top of every AD's list for a potential head coaching gig in a Power 5, big time. No offense to Iowa State. Sorry. I mean, I know you're Power 5, but I mean like a legitimate brand name football program. Matt Campbell could replace, let's say Urban Meyer, say he leaves Ohio State at the end of the year. Matt Campbell could be the guy that steps in and goes right to the Buckeyes head coaching gig. He is that good of a coach. And now he's got a quarterback, a freshman named Brock Purdy, who is doing some big things. 13 touchdowns to 2 picks. Since he stepped in and became the starting quarterback 5 games ago, 5-0 record for Iowa State, 4-1 against the spread. And Texas, I think, is going to be in a little trouble here. Texas' defense gives up big plays through the air. They're ranked 82nd in the country right now, giving up 7.6 yards per pass play. It's a big problem here. Brock Purdy likes to throw the ball vertically. They can really score. Sam Ehlinger, the quarterback for Texas, I think will have a pretty good night. He had a great night against Texas Tech on the road, 4 touchdown tosses, big win for Texas. I just think at home, yes, you're saying, Matt, that you're going up against here. It's a road dog in college football. You're taking a program, Iowa State. How hot are they? I just think the Cyclones got something cooking, and it really might come down to their defense. Can they stop Texas's offense? Iowa State's putting up some pretty big numbers. They're 18th in the country in points per game, giving up just 20.4, and they're 10th in rush defense. If you force Texas to be one-dimensional, I think that's how you get this game and you win it outright. I like Iowa State on a lean outright on a money line, but my pick will be I'll take the 3.5 points and take the Cyclones plus 3.5, but I don't hate a money line play either. This is a huge game for the Cyclones, huge game for Matt Campbell, and I think at the end of the night, we're once again talking about Matt Campbell as potentially the next young, up-and-coming, outstanding head coach to get a massive gig in college football. Iowa State's doing their best to keep him. I understand that. They've locked him up to a big contract with a big buyout. Heck, NFL teams. His name's been tossed around for the Cleveland Browns. That's how well thought of Matt Campbell is. I'm taking a big-time win for Iowa State on the road at Texas. Cyclones outright. Second game for us here, and this one also, I've got 2 selections, 2 plays on it, and just to kind of update where we are so far, we're 30-18-2 with our picks. 30-18-2 is pretty good. 1-1-2 last week. 2 pushes, a little bit of a weird deal, but Alabama plus 24, Clemson and Boston College, BC, plus 20. It matters where you get these lines. That's why it's important to pay attention to where I'm picking these lines, because if you had gotten it lower, Clemson covered a 17-point line that it went off minus 17. We got it at 20. That's why the push happened. 5-9 with our lean so far. Remember, a lean is just what I think is going to happen, and an actual pick is where I'm putting my money. Number 24, Cincinnati's on the road at Central Florida. Line UCF minus 7.5, total of 60.5. December of 2016. That's the last time that Central Florida lost a football game in college football. That's unbelievable. They've won 22 straight football games, and they've gone 14-7-1 against the spread over that run. Cincinnati is a different animal, however. This year, UCF has not played a top 50 defense. They're going to see a top 15 defense coming up here in the Bearcats. This team for Cincinnati can run, can score, and can play D. They're going to be a really, really tough opponent here for Central Florida, even with this game being in Orlando. Central Florida, Desmond Ridder has thrown for 15 touchdowns to 5 picks. He's got 1 passing touchdown in every game this year except for 2. This team does not want to be until they have a track meet with UCF, but they can hang. If it means scoring, getting into the 20s, they can hang. And the Knights have scored at least 31 points in every single one of these 22 wins in a row. I'm calling for that to actually end. Ohio's 11th ranked scoring offense is the only one that's been able to put 30 points up on the board against Cincinnati this season. They've put 30 on the nose. I don't think we see 31 points scored. I think this is a tight football game. I think this is a really fun game for the AAC East. Yes, I think UCF's going to win the game, but I think it's a tight one, like a 28-24 type victory for Central Florida. Cincinnati, plus 7.5. I'm taking the dog. You guys know I like underdogs. I'm taking the dog here at plus 7.5. And I'm also going with the under 60.5. I'm going to take the under as well. I think neither team gets into the 30s here. That 31-point scoring streak comes to an end this week for Central Florida against the Bearcats. I'm really excited for this game. People have kind of been dogging this week saying there aren't any good games in college football. This is an awesome, awesome game. And look, this mythical national championship thing that has been going on for Central Florida for the last year plus, the 2017 banner they hung for going undefeated. I really want someone to beat them. I don't think it's this week, but it could be. If there's a recipe for beating this team, this is how you're going to go. This is how you do it, right? You play stingy defense, and you have an offense that can throw and score and move the football on an okay defense for Central Florida. They haven't been in many tight games over the last 2 years. get them in another one, and who knows? Maybe they make a mistake, a fumble in a crucial moment, a bad penalty, something that forces a loss for Central Florida. So if you want to go money line with Cincinnati, I don't really hate that. That's sort of, I guess you call that a lean if you want, but plus 7.5, I'm taking Cincinnati. I'm taking the under. I'm going to get in front of that 22-game winning streak for Central Florida and the Knights and say the Bearcats are going to have a very good night and maybe even an outright victory in Orlando coming up on Saturday. And finally, one more to talk about. Let's stay in the Big 12. Number 9, West Virginia on the road at Oklahoma State. The Mountaineers minus 4.5 in this one. And the total is really high. This is going to be points. I don't know how many points will be scored, and that's why I'm going to stay away from 73. That's a really big number, but this is where my love of the underdog comes to an end. I've been taking dogs like crazy, in particular this weekend. I'm going to roll with the favorite here. I think the Mountaineers have a ton to play for, and this is your classic letdown spot in college football. Last week for Oklahoma State, they had Oklahoma on the ropes. They probably should have won that game outright, but they were 20-plus point dogs in that one, and they lost it 48-47. That was crazy. But you get up for your rival. You get up for Bedlam. Bedlam was living up to its name. But afterwards, the next week, this is the fear factor I've got for Oklahoma State. How do they get up again? They got up for Texas. They beat Texas. They got up for OU. Now they got to do it again with not much on the line for them, where everything's on the line from a Big 12 championship game appearance for the Mountaineers. A 9-1 record for West Virginia. They're coming off of a 47-10 pounding of TCU. They want to go and show off this top 10 ranked offense. They're going to go put a lot of points up on the board. My worry for Oklahoma State is that I don't know how much they're going to score. I know the Mountaineer defense is not great, but I'm just wondering if it gets away from them, if this game kind of snowballs. Do they get to 20 points, 30 points? Can they put up enough points here to justify taking the over? I don't know. So that's why I'm not going to touch the total, but I think there's too much on the line for West Virginia here. This is a team that is starting to look around at the landscape and say, hey, if we wind up with one loss, if we're a one-loss Big 12 champion and we beat Oklahoma, what are our chances here of getting into the college football playoffs? It's probably a long shot still, but they have to be able to be there. And unfortunately for the committee, they care about style points, or I guess for us, style points matter. So if they have a chance to go in there and win a game 40-20 over Oklahoma State, I think the Mountaineers are going to try to go ahead and do that. Will Grier is a guy people are talking about for the Heisman, rightfully so. Played really well last week on the road. Here they are on the road again. It's an opportunity, I think, for West Virginia to flex their muscles a bit against Oklahoma State team that's going to be coming off of a really emotional letdown by not beating Oklahoma last week. So to me, I'm rolling with West Virginia minus 4.5 here. Favorite wins and the favorite covers. West Virginia goes to 10-1. I'm Matt Peralt from Destination Radio. Remember to go to playpicks.com/bonus. That's playpicks.com/bonus. All the best New Jersey sportsbook information and all those no deposit bonuses that are great. We had a 1-1-2 week last week. Hopefully we're on to the winning track again and keep us rolling here. Good record for us on the season so far. 30-18-2 on our picks. Let's have another winning week, and we're back next week right here on playpicks.com.